Hello guys, good evening to all. How are you guys? How's you guys are doing? Hello guys, am I audible? Good evening to all. Good evening, good evening, good evening guys. Yes, thank you very much. I am good. I hope you guys are also good. Okay. All right, all right. Okay. So what we'll be going to do guys, like we have basically seen these things in the day 1 and the day 2 will be basically going to cover all of these things, but this will going to cover in the code part, because discussing now and discussing again in the code part, that will be really time wasting thing. So what we'll be going to do, we'll be simply going to start this session with respect to Python only. So as I like told you in the yesterday session only, if you guys are basically from non-technical background, so there is no need to worry. What you can basically do is, over here we'll be going to learn each and everything from very scratch. So today we'll be basically going to cover Python from very scratch. Okay. Okay, cool. So this is basically what, this is your Google Colab. What you have to do, you just have to go on Google and just type Google Colab. So this is a platform that you can basically consider where we will going to code. Now, on the first thing, whenever you will be going to write Google Colab, there will be one thing that you will be able to see, this particular link. Click on this one. Then after that, you will be just going to look like multiple things will be there, but you have to click over here, new notebook, and automatically a new window will like pop up over here. Okay. So over here, we'll be going to code. So I have already prepared a notebook for all of you that is basically over here. So we'll be going to understand it from this one. Okay. So Python, we'll be basically going to understand what is basically Python over here. This is full screen. Like video will always be there on the left hand side, but this is full screen. Okay. Now, so from very start, let us just say if you are writing a code and you are assigning something, let us just say name. So what is basically my name? Can I say my name is Satyam? So whenever I'll be basically going to call this name, just wait, we are like executing it. Yes, I'll be going to provide the yesterday session notes. Don't worry about it. Now, similarly, so this name is there and this value Satyam is basically there. So these are nothing but this is the variable. In Python, we called it variable, and this is just your value that is going to store the data over here. Similarly, in the same way, we have a is equal to 10. Like you, in a variable, you have just stored 10 value. You can store 100 also, that is totally up to you. And whenever you will be just going to call this a, it will going to give you this 100. All right. So these are basically known as variables. Now in Python, we have something known as operators. Let us just say if you want to add something, the same way that we used to do it in calculator, addition, subtraction, multiplication. What kind of a background color you want me to change? This is Google Colab and this is in a dark theme, but it's okay. I have selected it dark from my end, but if you want, you can go for the white one also. Okay. Now, so these are the operators, that is addition, okay. So this is basically your addition, which look like this: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, module, exponential, and floor division. So what are these operators? Let us just see these things. Let us just say if we basically have to print something. Previously what we was basically doing, when we were storing a is equal to 10, then what we have to do, we basically have to call this a again, right? Then you will be able to see it. But over here only, if you'll be just going to write a print like this, you will be easily able to print this particular one. Okay, so this is basically your print. All right, what is not visible properly, Sana Maggie? I think my screen is clearly visible. I am basically able to see on the YouTube also. Guys, are you having any kind of a problem? Are you guys not able to see the screen properly? Is my voice properly audible? Visible? Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is basically your print. So these are your operator functions, that this sign will going to add, subtract, multiplication. So this thing will be just going to see. So if I'll be just going to do 10 plus 5, that is going to give me 15. If I have to do subtraction, I'll be just simply going to do 10 minus 5, that is going to be 5. If I have to do multiplication, I'll be just simply going to add this multiplication sign, that is 10 multiplied by 5, that is going to be 50. And this is nothing but this is for the division one. Right, you are just dividing 10 by 5, so the answer that you will be going to get, that will be 2. All right, over here you are just finding the module of it. Then we have exponential, like what will be the power of 2. So if you'll be just going to multiply 2 cross 2 cross 2, so obviously it will be going to be 8. Okay, then after that we basically have something called as floor division. Like this, we was basically dividing it by 1. But just see one thing, if we was just dividing it like this, so it was giving us the value in digits. But what if I want to divide it, but I want to get this first value only, like what is the round figure? So for that we are doing floor division. 2 times you basically have to add a sign like this, and you will be easily able to get an answer like this. Okay, now after that we basically have something, just a basic that we are covering today, guys, and tomorrow we'll be simply going to understand about pandas. Tell me order, what you are saying. There is no okay order you are basically asking in that way. Like first it basically used to do this thing, multiplication, then division, then addition, then subtraction, like this, right? But that depends, like you basically have to write it in brackets. That thing will basically not going to work over here, whatever you are asking. So again, these are nothing but these are your Python assignment operators. Let us just say is equal to is there, plus is equal to there, minus is equal to there, star is equal to there, divide is equal to there, percentage is equal to there. So what are these things? These are things are basically known as Python assignment operators, and this notebook I'll be going to share with all of you also. Okay. So what we'll be going to do, let us just say if I have to define x is equal to 5, that means in x I am storing this value 5. So that is basically known as your assignment operators. Okay, so you are just storing it over here. But now if I'll be just going to call x, it will going to return me 5. Why? Because in x I have stored x is equal to 5. And what if I'll be going to do x plus 5? That means with whatever value that x is having, I just want to add 5 in it. So the answer that you will be going to get, that will be 50. Because we have already added 5 is x is equal to 5, and the value of x was 5, but we have did x plus 5 is equal to 10. So it is giving me 10. All right. Subhanshi, we will going to start ML. Like tomorrow, we'll be going to cover a data pre-processing part using pandas, NumPy, visualization, and all. And in the 4th day, we will going to start about the ML, a little bit introduction about the algorithms. Then we'll be going to do a real-time project also. All right, clear till now, guys? Now just see one thing, guys. If x is equal to 5, and if I'll be just going to execute it, it will going to return me x plus 5 is equal to 10. But when if I'll be just simply going to call this particular x, it is again going to show me 5. Can anyone tell me why it is showing me 5? Over here, we have already did x plus 5. So why it is over here it is showing me 10. But when again I'm calling x, why it is showing me 5? Can anyone tell me this thing? What do you think, guys? What is the problem over here? If we have already did x plus 10, x plus 5, that is going to be 15. But yes, just see over here we have did it. No, the value of x is 5 and we have did x is equal to 5, and over here we are doing x plus 5, that will going to give me 10. So over here the value of x is basically got changed. But when if I'm calling this x, why it is again showing me 5? It should like show me 10, I think. Yes, right, guys. We haven't stored it, we haven't assigned it. What if I'll be simply going to do like this? X is equal to x plus 5. Then I'll be going to call x. At that time it will going to show me 10. So each and every time whenever you are doing something, always remember that you basically have to change the, you basically have to assign a particular value at that time. Okay, you basically have to assign a particular value at that particular of time. Only then you will be able to see that the value is basically getting stored. Any kind of a confusion till now? Okay, similarly one thing we have did, x is equal to 5 we have written. Then after that what we have did, x is equal to x plus 5, then we was calling this 10. But this same operation, what we can basically do over here, if I'll be simply going to copy this one, and if I'll be simply going to paste this one over here, all right, so it's going to show me 10. But I can do this thing by using this sign also, that is plus is equal to. Okay, instead of doing this with the help of Python, you can do plus is equal to also. At that time you will be going to get the same answer. Similarly, with respect to plus, we have minus is equal to also. So initially x is 5. What we have did, x minus is equal to 5, and then we are returning x. So this will going to be 0. What will be the answer of this one, guys? Now tell me. X is equal to 5, x is equal to multiply is equal to 3, and then we are returning x. What do you think? What should be the answer of this one? 15, 15, right, 15. Okay. So simply if I'll be going to execute it, the answer will going to be 15. All right. Now, after that, we have Python comparison operators. What these are going to do? These will going to help you to check the values. All of these things that I'm showing you, these things we are using in real life only, guys. Right. These things we are using in real life only. All of these things, because initially when I was a fresher and I was learning these things, I was always like, okay, this is basically the code with respect to it, but how do I like use it in real life? That is the main thing. But all of these things that you will be able to see, we are using it in real life only. Let us just say if I have to assign something, a is equal to 2, b is equal to 1. Now I basically want to check whether a is equal to b or not. So it will going to tell me false, because a is 2 and b is 1. But what if I'll be just going to do 2? Now just tell me, guys, if I'll be going to execute this code, a is equal to b, what it should return me? Okay, yeah, for sure it will basically going to return me true over here. So let's just try to execute this one. Yeah. And what if I have another statement that is going to be A is not equal to B? So over here I'm saying A is not equal to B. So this is the sign for that particular thing. So it is saying no, A is 2 and B is 2 also. And whenever we'll be basically going to call this one, it will going to show me false. Right? Now, we'll be simply going to compare. Now we are saying A is bigger and B is smaller. So it is going to show me false. No, you are wrong. But what if I'll be just going to change the value? A is 2, B is 1. Now if I'll be just simply going to execute it, it will going to show me true. Because A value is 2 and B value is 1. And if I'll be going to do this thing, it will going to show me false. Over here we are saying A is small, B is large. Right? Now. Okay. Now tell me what it should return me for now. In this, A is greater than or equal to B. What is the meaning of it? Or let us just say 2. What it should return me now? Greater than or equal to. Which condition is true? First of all, tell me. A is equal to 2, B is equal to 2. Why it should return me true? First tell me the reason, guys. Because obviously if I'll be going to execute it, it will going to return me true. But why? Why it is returning me true? Because just see, we have two condition over here. Either A is greater than or equal to B. So obviously the first condition is not right, that it is not greater than. But if I just talk about, yes, it is equal to 2. Okay, it is equal to 2. Now, again after that we have Python logical operations. Okay, can anyone tell me what is the difference between and or? How many of you know Python logical operation? First tell me this thing. Just give me a reply like yes or no, so I'll be able to know whether you guys are aware about Python logical operations or not. I know. Okay, Soumya Shri is there. Abhidhril. Okay, Mansi equal Sana. Okay. So now tell me what is the difference between and or? What is the difference between and or? Okay, yeah, right. Right, guys. So you guys are like absolutely right. So what it is, so quickly I'll be even going to tell you this thing. So if I'll be simply going to execute x is equal to 3, x is less than 5, and I have a one condition. X is less than 5 and x is less than 1. So it is going to return me false. Okay. Because 3 is greater than 1. But over here we are saying, but if I will just change this sign, it will going to return me true. So and is basically whenever you will be going to assign two conditions and both are true, it should return you true. And if any one condition is true, let us just say we are saying x is less than 5 or x is less than 1. So from these two, one condition is true, so it will going to return true. Okay. Then after that, we basically have Python identity operator. Okay, so that is and is not. So let us just say if I have x is equal to 2, y is equal to 2. And if I'm saying x is y, that means x is equal to 2. Over here we are saying return true if both variables are the same object. And after that we are saying x is not y. That means it is not equal to this thing. So for here it is going to give me true because these are equal, and for here it is going to give me false because these are not equal. Now, how many of you are next and very important topic is basically what are Python data types? How many of you know Python data types? First, just let me know in the chat, guys. Yes or no in the chat. Okay. So tell me the data types of it, guys, now. What do you think? What are the data types in Python? Okay, int, float, double, right? Okay, cool. Okay, like tuple list, data types, if I just talk about tuple list, shift sublog, there is no need for the spam. This is just see, there's loop and lambda also. What is the difference between loop and lambda? It is nothing but it is again a Pythonic way of doing something. Similarly, both will going to give you the same result over here. So I can basically say is equal to you can use when you basically want to compare the value of two objects. Okay, and is you can basically use want to use like if whenever you basically want to use two reference point to the same object in memory. All right, now there is no need for the spam. Shift sublog, please. Okay, guys, cool. So let us just quickly cover it. So these are the data type, that is integer, float, and complex number. What are integers? If I'll be just going to do a is equal to 5, and if I'll be just going to print the type of it will going to return me int. If I'll be basically going to do print hello all, it will going to give me hello all. If I'll be going to do print type of a, and I'll be just going to do type a, so it will going to give me that is int, because a we have stored is equal to 5. Then after that, if we basically have a is equal to 5, b is equal to 5.0, c is equal to 2.4, j. So obviously the first one we are like printing what is the type of a, b, and c. So for the type it is showing int, for the type b that is 5.0 it is showing float, and for the third one it is showing complex number. So what is a float? Whenever with the help, like whenever there is a dot and some kind of a number like this is there, it will going to give you a float. And if there is a straight number, only one number is basically there, then it will only going to give me int. Okay, homelander we use f string, because inside f string you can basically mention your empty dictionary format, and after that you can simply write a format. Again, it is a Pythonic way. With the help of f also you can work, with the help of without f string you can even work. Okay, now after this thing, these are the data types, because this is again an interviewer will going to ask you these things: integer, float, complex number. What are the data types? So these things you basically have to mention at that time. So again, the next data type is basically going to be string. What is basically a string? Whenever you have something that is mentioned like this in these signs, okay, so that will going to count as a integer. Let us just say if I have mentioned a is equal to hello, how are you all, and b is 5 and c is 5 also. Now just tell me, guys, what will be the data type of a, what will be the data type of b, what will be the data type of c? What do you think, guys? What do you think, guys? What will be the data type of a, b, and c? String, integer, string. Vishal is saying string, integer, string. A string, right? A character, shift sublog, string, integer, string. Okay, because that is right, because just see, this 5 is not mentioned in these things. So obviously it will going to show you a is equal to string, b is equal to integer, c is equal to string. So if I'll be just going to write a type of it, so string, integer, string. What about this one, guys? What do we call this thing? Can anyone tell me what do we call this one? I have mentioned it using this sign. So what do we call this thing? No, okay, comment. This is comment. Then what is basically this thing? If this is comment, if this is comment, what is this thing then? Dog string, right? Jigyasa and Maduresh, dog string. This is the dog string. So this is again a dog string. All right. Then after that, what we'll be going to do? Just see, we have string 1. Welcome to the Let's Upgrade world. And then we have string 1. I am a Let's Upgrade student. These things. And if I'll be just going to print a type of it, it will basically going to give me these things only. Class integer, class string. These things are basically there. Okay. Even if this thing is basically there in this one, it is showing me class string because this is a data type only. Then after string, we basically have list. So what is basically a list? List always start with this kind of a sign. If you are defining a variable and the value are basically getting stored in this kind of a sign, that will going to known as a list. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there is one, this thing also, Satyam, that has been written, or let's just say this is going to be Let's Upgrade. Let's Upgrade. Okay, this is going to be Let's Upgrade. Now, what if over here, like I basically have integers, I basically have a string also. If I'll be going to print the data type of this one, what do you think? What it will going to print? Or first tell me, don't you think it should give me error? Because we have like a string also and integer also over here. Don't you think it will going to give me an error? No error? Okay. Why it should not give me error, but guys? Yes, right. It can contain multiple data types, guys. If you want, you can store float also. But if you'll be just going to check the data type of it, for sure it will going to give you list on it. Okay, it is giving you list. Now, if you have an empty list, how you can assign a empty list like this? You can basically assign an empty list. Okay, multiple things you can basically mention over here. Now, do you know indexing in list? How many of what is indexing in list, guys? What do you think? What is indexing in list? What if I will print? What if I will print this list 2 and this 2? What do you think? What it should print? Yes, right. Everyone is right. All right. It will going to give me all because the indexing, it basically starts from 0. Let's upgrade for all. So that is 0, 1 and 2. This is the index value, that this element is stored at 0th index, This is first index, this is second index. Okay, like this. Similarly, we basically have this one. Okay, okay. What do you think? What do you think? What does this thing basically known as? What is this thing? Two list, two sign of list I have basically mentioned over here. What do we call this thing? Nested list. Yeah, Vishal, right. Nested list. This is known as nested list, guys. Yes, right. Nested list. Right, guys. Now, after that, we basically have tuple. So as we have seen, we was basically having a list which was having it like this, the sign. Now we have something called as tuple that is like this. Who will going to tell me the difference between tuple and list? What is the difference between tuple and list, guys? Tuple is immutable, mutable list, right? So the thing is, the value of tuple we can change in future. Like the value of tuple we cannot change in future, but the value that we have with respect to the list, that we can change in future. So that is the main difference between tuple and list. And this is how we define the tuple. So if you'll be just going to define it like this, and if you'll be just going to check the type of it, it will going to show you that yes, this is basically a tuple. Cool. Then after that, we have something known as Boolean. These are again the data types. That is only going to be true and false. So whenever you will be going to write true and false, so it should always be written like this. If you'll be going to write the first letter as a small one, it will not work. So the first letter of true and false should always be capital. So if you'll be just going to check the type of it, that is going to show you bool. That is nothing but Boolean. What are Boolean? That is going to be true and false. That's it. Then we basically have set. Next data type is basically set. What is set, guys? What do you think, guys? What is set? Right, Vishal. Set is basically non-repeated. This thing. So let's just say if I'll be going to execute this list, which have 5 is basically getting repeated over here, right? And in L1 over here, A is basically BB is basically getting repeated. But if I'll be just going to call set, and I'll be just going to call my this L1, it will only going to return me the unique values. So all the duplicacy that is there, it will simply going to remove that thing. It will simply basically going to remove that thing, right? Let us just say if I'll be going to do it with this L1. So just see this thing. There is one advantage of set also. Whenever you will be going to use set on a numerical value, first it will sort the list or the values, and it also remove the duplicates of it. Cool. Then after that, we basically have something known as dictionary. What is a dictionary, guys? And what do you think? What is the unique thing with respect to the dictionary? Key value pair. What do you understand by key and value pair, guys? First of all, the main thing is why do we need it? What do you think? Will you be able to relate it to real life examples? Okay, all right. Phone book. Yeah, like this. let's just say if you have something, a laptop is there and the user is there, you want to define which laptop which user is using. Or let's just say if there is a phone number, what is the name of that particular person who is using this phone number. So a phone number book you can basically consider. So this is your dictionary which will going to store the data in this format. That is going to be 1 let's upgrade, 2 for, and 3 is basically for student. So whenever I'll be just going to call this dictionary, it will going to look like this only. Okay, so this thing is known as key and this is known as value. What do we like mean by this thing? Let us just say dict2 is basically there. We have class A, so we have Naveen, and after that we have class B, that is Chirag. Class C is there, let us just say that is Satya. So if I'll be going to run this thing dict2, and if I'll be simply going to show you how this dict2 is basically looking like, and if I'll be just going to check, okay, in class A, which student is basically studying. So this dict2 and the class we have to call like this in this format, class A. So it will going to show us in class A, Naveen is studying. Similarly, what about class B? It will be Chirag. Okay. So this is basically your what a dictionary is. It's clear till now? Guys, do you have any kind of a confusion till now? So these was your data types till now. These are the data types that we have discussed. So I hope now someone will going to ask you in an interview what are the data types and all. Hopefully you'll be able to tell them. Yes, Muthana, we will cover NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. These things, don't worry. Tomorrow we will cover. These are data structures only, data types. These are data types. Project will be even going to understand, don't worry. Interview, they will not ask you this thing, which particular data type. They in interview, they will ask you what are the different data types, and they'll be just going to give you a simple problem. What kind of a problem? Let us just say you have this thing. Okay, let us just say you have this thing. X is equal to hello, welcome to hello, let's upgrade, welcome to let's upgrade, and we have hello again. Okay, so this is basically like a task that they will be going to give you, and after that they'll be simply going to ask you that you should return it in this format, that hello is there, how many times it is getting repeated, 2 times. Then we basically have let's upgrade, how many times let's upgrade is getting repeated, 2 times. Then we have welcome. Okay, welcome, how many times it is getting repeated, 1 time. Then we have like 2. Okay, how many times 2 is getting repeated, that is 1 time. So how you'll be able to convert this thing into this format? Do you know, guys? Yes, Sleepy Silverhead. This file will be available in the one link. After the session, I'll be going to share it with the team, and then they'll be going to upload it over here. Even if you are from data science, even if you are preparing for only Python developer, at that time they will ask you this kind of a questions. Okay. But the one thing is, guys, over here you cannot use any inbuilt function like count or something. You have to do it without using inbuilt function. So consider it as a homework and try to do this question. All right. Yes, over here you have to count the occurrence of words. Okay, over here you have to count the occurrence of word. Yes, like this you can do it. Try to do it from your own without using internet and without using this chat GPT. Okay, so you'll be able to know this thing. Now, after that, there is something known as, let us just comment this thing out because we are not discussing this thing. There is something known as Python string. There's like something known as Python string inbuilt functions. So what are these? Let's just say I have this string, hi from let's upgrade. All right. So if I'll be just going to access the first index of it, okay, that is going to be h, right? But don't you feel one thing, guys? If I'll be just going, if I have to extract this h, because this is at the first index and from is basically on the second index and let's upgrade is on the third index. So how I'll be able to fetch this high over here? Because if I'm basically extracting the zeroth element, it is only giving me h. How I should be able to get this high from let's upgrade? So these are from like 0 index, 1 index, 2 index. What do you think? What should we, what? Okay, split, right? Split. We should use a split over here. So same thing will be, we have like done over here. Let's just say if say is variable is there, which is having our data like this, high from let's upgrade, and you want to select between something 3 to 6 character. So it is going to give you FRO. That is this thing. Okay, because just see 0th index, 1 index, 2 index, and 3 index, it is covering F. And over here we have set like till 10, whichever character is there, just return me that. So just see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 is at T. So till T, it is giving us all of these things. Okay. Now what we are saying, same thing you can do, like after 10, whatever is basically there, just return me that thing. Okay. So it is giving you this thing now. Cool. Now there is one thing also, like this say is basically there, that is high from let's upgrade. And after that, what we are doing, 1, 11, 3. What does this thing means? That means from 1 to 3 index, like we'll be going to cover it, sorry, 11, and we'll be going to skip 3. Each 3, this thing will be going to skip over here. All right. Now, Python and string operators are basically there. Let's just say this is Python, x plus y plus this thing. So x is basically this, y is basically Python. If you'll be going to return it like this, it will be going to give you this. Okay. Now, the next thing is, let's just say I have s is equal to hello buddy. And hello is a small, e is a small, ll is basically capital, o is a small. But what if we'll be going to do s dot, the string where we have stored this, the variable where we have stored this string, s dot capitalize, and we'll be simply going to print it. So capitalize basically means that the first word of a sentence will going to be capitalized and rest of the thing will going to be small. Okay. If I have it like this, hello buddy, then again if I'll be going to call it, it will going to give me this thing. Now, if I have s is equal to hello buddy, and I'll be just going to do s dot upper. So it should return all of these things in upper letter. That means each and everything will going to be capitalized. And if I'll be going to do s dot title, title what it does do, the first word, the first character of every word will going to be capitalized and rest of the things will going to be small. Cool. Swap cases is basically there. Like whichever is small will going to convert into capital, whichever is capital, it will going to convert into small. Swap is basically there, right? And multiple things are basically there that I have mentioned here only. Okay. So these things that you can basically explore over here. So let us just directly jump with list function. Do you have any kind of a confusion till now, guys? First tell me this thing. Without using function, how, what you are saying, we convert into uppercase. Guys, you can search this thing on internet. Because over here we have limited amount of time, we have to cover the syllabus also. Always try to search these small things on internet. Yes, space is also considering as an index if you are not using split, only then. But if you are using split, the space will not going to be considered. Okay, cool. Now just see. In currencies, we basically have dollar, euro, and pound, right? So this is basically my list. But in this list, I want to add yen also. So what I'll be going to do, I'll be just going to use dot append. So over here, if we'll be basically going to use append, so this thing will get appended over here. So just see this thing. My new list will look like this. Can anyone tell me what is the difference between append and extend? First of all, tell me, like, yeah, are you guys even aware about extend or not? What is the difference between append and extend, guys? Not okay. Cool, no problem. I'll be just going to show you. So just see, wild animal is basically there. So what I'll be, again, append I have used, and let us just say if this is the thing, animal list I have basically have, which have cat, dog, rabbit, horse is basically there, and I just have to do animals dot index dog. I just wanted to find out at which index it is, so it will going to give me over here like this if I'll be going to use dot index. All right, now we basically have extend. Let us just say prime number is there, that is going to be 235. Then we have number, that is 1,4. If I'll be going to do number dot extend prime number, so it will going to append this thing over here. Okay, sorry, this prime number into this one. But if you'll be going to use append in place of this thing, look, this is the output with respect to extend. But what if you'll be going to use append over here? It will look like this, a list inside a list. But if you'll be just going to use extend, a list you want to extend in a list you want to add in a list without a list, this thing, symbols, then you can simply do extend. Cool. I hope you guys are able to understand it till now. And rest of the, like, some functions are still there. Let us just say if you want to insert O at third index, so what you'll be going to do, a list vower dot insert this thing AEIOU. So third index you want to insert, that is 0, 1, 2, 3 over here. Okay, so you will going to shift. So these are the inbuilt function. Now let us just say with respect to set, what are basically the inbuilt functions over here? That is going to be 1, 3. Okay, set we have just created. Now I want to add a new number in it. So for that, in list we are basically using append, but over here in the Python we are using, with respect to set, we are using add. So with list we are using append, with set we are using add. So it will going to be 1, 2, 3. And if you'll be even going to add it, it will going to sort it for you. Okay. Understood till now, guys? Okay. Similarly, with respect to dictionary, we have it like this, like name Jack, age is 26. What if I basically want to get address? Okay. Why it is basically giving me an error over here? That is key error address. That simply means address. There is no key which is named as address. right? That's why it is giving us the error. Now what if, let us just say name is Jack, age is 26, but I have to change this age to 27. So how I'll be able to do it? I'll be just going to call my dictionary, the key, that is age, and I'll be simply going to change it to 27. And now I'll be going to change like one more key I'll be going to add over here, that is address is downtown. So if I will just see, after changing it to 27, this is how my dictionary is going to look like. And after adding a new key that is going to be address, this is how my dictionary will going to look like. So this is how you can manipulate your dictionary in Python, guys. Okay. Similarly, some like other things are basically there. Let us just say, if this is your dictionary, my dict, all right, you basically want to only know the keys. What are the keys are there? So my dict dot keys you can do. If you just want values like name, age, and address is there. If you just want to get values, you can get values also. My dict dot value, so it will going to give you the values. But if you want to print both, that like loop we'll be going to understand tomorrow. So at that time I'll be going to show it with the loop. The loop is basically doing over here. Any kind of a confusion till now, guys? Do you guys have any kind of a confusion till now? Like this notebook that I basically have, I'll be going to share it with all of you. Okay, I'll be just going to download it over here, and I'll be just going to share it with the Let's Upgrade team, so they'll be able to share it with all of you. If you have any kind of a confusion, you can ask me, guys, related to anything. A good project we'll be going to do at the this thing, fourth day, and on the fifth day we'll be going to cover each and everything. But just see, there are a lot of students here who are not aware about Python and all, who are really from a non-technical background. So we have to understand these things also, because tomorrow we'll be going to cover the advanced part also. Okay, filling the missing values, following all the pre-processing techniques that we can do in machine learning. Okay, this thing we'll be going to do in the tomorrow session. All right. Just see KN, what you can basically do in the more, whenever you'll be just going to click in the description of YouTube video, there is like full link. One link is basically there. On that full link, if you'll be just going to create all-in-one documents, over there we'll be going to upload after this session. Like right now we haven't uploaded because we are discussing it, but after this session we'll be going to upload it. Okay. Yes, shift sublog, don't worry, the advanced part we will cover slowly only. It's not like that on the fast way we'll be going to cover it. Okay, so I can basically say this is it for today's session, guys. Thanks each and everyone for joining. Okay, I hope you guys might have learned something new today, and for sure I will try to cover multiple things in tomorrow's session also, with some advanced things, the basic things, each and everything we'll be going to cover. And we will, like Let's Upgrade team and I will also try to make things very simple, so you guys will be easily able to understand. All right, so this is it for today's session, guys. Thanks each and everyone for joining. So that's it for today. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye. Good night, everyone.